Hey guys, welcome back to the Second Time Lucky Mining channel. In today's quick video, we are going to unbox the Octominer E10 server and have a look and see if I can install the new Alpha Flux core on it and run a benchmark. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, I've been super excited about proof of useful work since the first time that I heard about it. And quite incidentally, I heard about it on a Flux AMA and in their roadmap. And since then, I've been fascinated about proof of useful work. I subsequently built my own rigs that I've been playing around on Vast AI, and subsequently I bought one of the Octoserver E10s. I'm a big fan of the Octominers where I've got my GPU miners in, and since they've released a Octoserver, I thought I'm going to give that a try. Now in today's video, what we're going to do is I'm going to unbox that and have a look and see what's inside, and then how does that compare ultimately with the rigs that I've built myself. What I want to do again, as mentioned, I want to go and install the new Flux Core Alpha and see if I can run a benchmark. Now, enough of me talking about it. Let's go into the garage and unbox the Octominer E10 and start getting to work. Okay, so here we are in the garage. Here is all my miners and all of my other proof of useful work servers, and what you would see here if I pan to the left here is the Octoserver. That's my little prison gym here, but what we are going to do is unbox this Octoserver and have a look and see what's inside. Now as you can see here, I haven't touched it or opened it or anything like that, so that's why I brought the knife so we can go ahead and have a look. So we're going to open it up and see what's inside. Now what I'm going to do is quickly open it up and then take it out and put it on the mat so we can have a look and see what's inside. Now I've cut the box open, looking ahead and seeing what's inside. Now if I open up this, open up here, oh, I've got a little message. Let's have a look. What does it say? Thank you for your purchase. Insert the CR2032 on the motherboard battery, unscrew the case, install the GPUs, only supplied PCIe power cables, make sure both rounded C19 cables are connected. Okay, cool. So that's basically instructions of what I need to go ahead and do in order to get it set up. I can see there's accessories here, so again we're going to go ahead and have a look at that. So what I'm going to do next is take out the server, put it on the mat and open up these boxes and see what's inside. Okay, so this is what I got in the box here, and as you can see I can have the Octoserver here, and if I just pan a little bit in the front, this is sort of what it looks like in the front. I've got the Flux logo here at the top, absolutely massive. There's a little power button here on the left, and then what you would see next to it here is some server rails. Now what I suspect what I can do, and if I pan a little bit to the right here, you would see I've got a rack right there. I potentially can rack mount the server. I think it's a little bit deeper than what I have my rack set at, but potentially I can. Now looking at the back here, there's more fans, and then there is the accessory box. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the lid off and have a look and see what's in the accessories. Okay, so I think I've managed to unscrew it, but anyway, let's have a look first at the accessories here. So let me open this up. And what you can see in here, and if I just move this to the back, there is a bunch of cables here, and looking at the quality, it actually feels quite nice and it looks actually great. The other thing that's in here is more screws. I would imagine that's for the GPU. And then what I went and did here, and there's not an awful lot of instructions provided, but I think it's not too hard to figure out. But I've managed to unscrew the back here, and if I just show you guys sort of what it looked like, there was 4 screws, so 2 on this side and actually 2 on this side. I just unscrewed it, and that gives you access to this back plane here, and this is where you can see the actual motherboard I/O network connection. It looks like 2 power connections here. So they've got a connector there, so I'm assuming this is going to push, I'm not sure exactly which way the air is going to go, but we'll figure that out. Now the other thing that I found quite interesting is to get the actual lid off. I've managed to get the lid off here. There's a bunch of screws on the left, well that's the right hand side, but yeah, on the left and right hand side there's a bunch of screws. Probably go ahead and count here, but there's a whole bunch of screws in order to get the top off. Now, let me take that off and show you guys sort of what it looks like inside. Okay, so after the lid is off, this is sort of what it looks like. And what you can see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 PCIe slots. There's not too much space in between them. Luckily, I've got a couple of thin cards. I don't have any 3080s, 3090s, or 4090s, or any real fat cards. So I don't think that will be too much of a problem. What I do know here, and what I did notice about the PCIe, this is going to be Gen 3, and any one of these slots is going to be times 8 slots, sorry. So you don't get the full times 16 bandwidth. That's a bit... I guess the only downside with this specific Octa server, I do know that they are going to potentially release some more higher end versions. I'm assuming the cost is going to be more expensive. I paid about $2,000 for this specific model. I would imagine, again, as they produce potentially more, prices potentially can come down. But again, I don't know what the pricing would be in your region and what shipping would cost specifically to you. Now, what I can see else in here, which is quite interesting. Here you can see that's one CPU, and then if you look a little bit to the left, there is the actual other one. So it's a interesting heatsink slash cooler. I haven't seen something like that before. What you would also see here is there is the DDR4 RAM. I think it's DDR4. I went with a 256 gigs, so each one of these sticks I'm assuming is going to be 64 gigs. What you would see here, that's where I need to go and put the battery. I've got a couple of batteries tucked away, and if I just hover my mouse there or hover the camera there, there's the 2 terabyte NVMe drive that I got here. Now what you would see at the back here is there is a bunch of hard drive carriers, and that's sort of one of the big reasons why I wanted to go with something like a Octa server. Now if you have a look, if I just pan a little bit to the top, and if you watch some of my previous videos and sort of there in the back, that is my DIY proof of use work rigs, and it doesn't support, well, it does support a lot of stuff, but it's not pre-installed like this. I had to build it from scratch, and that's a nice thing with the Octa server is you get the complete package. Now again, what I want to do next is go ahead and slot at least one of my GPUs in, try and get it connected, figure out where does the power go. That's something that I don't know just yet, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. Now the other thing that I noticed here is the GPU is probably going to be slotted like this, and then air will be blowing through it that way, and again, that's sort of what I expect here. But we're going to have a look, install one of the GPUs and see if I can actually power it on and go into the BIOS to see and have a look in what's is recognized specifically in the BIOS. Okay, so getting a GPU in is actually very easy. It's actually a lot easier than a normal Octaminer, at least that's my experience. What I sometimes try, or what I have a hard time with, is that little lip, getting it to fit in between the motherboard. And as you can see here, there's so much space there for it to go. It's actually very easy. Now again, there is added screws, so I could go ahead and screw the GPU in. The other thing here at the back, as you can see here, and it's something that I didn't notice initially, but right here at the back, that is where the power connector is. So I just took one of these cables in the accessory box and plugged it into the actual GPU. So it's really straightforward. Everything is pre-populated, as I mentioned. I just need to go and put a battery in there and then put everything back together. Now what I noticed here is, if I just go ahead and have a look here at the back, so I just need to go ahead and install this fans here again at the back, but this is where the rear IO is. So that's where I need to go and plug in the C19s or C13s. I always forget which one is which. And then here is the network connection. Now again, I would imagine this is the same as any other Supermicro or server motherboard. And again, if you're new or you haven't seen that, and I think it's a common mistake, I mean I did it as well, is this network connection there, and then there's two here. Normally the one above the USB, that's the IPMI one, whereas these are dual NICs. Now I'm not sure if this is dual 1 gig or 10 gig NICs. I'm assuming it's just 1 gig, but anyway, we're going to have a look. So what I want to do next is close everything up and power it back on, and have a look there at the back. I've got my little chair at the back with a screen and a computer or a keyboard. So I'm going to power it on and see if we can get into BIOS. Alright, so I managed to get into BIOS. It's picked up all the RAM. You can see it's 256 here at the bottom. And if I go to the CPU, just toggle one back, go to the CPU configuration. Here you can see it's picking up the 2 CPUs. So it looks all fine from a BIOS perspective. I'm probably going to fiddle around a little bit more in the BIOS and have a look and see if there's anything else that I need to change. But other than that, next up I'm going to install Linux and then FluxCore to see if I could get a benchmark up and running. Something that I would note though is it is way loud when it starts. So I'm probably going to switch it off and give it a rest for a little bit until the neighbors wake up. I don't want to upset my new neighbors just yet. Okay, so just finished the benchmark. I'm not sure if you guys can see nicely. It's very small on this little screen, but I benchmarked about 23,000 or 24,000 on one A4500. Now, as you can see, I'm just sitting above the Octo server, so it's not bad for a first try. Currently, I've only got one GPU in because the benchmarks really only check one GPU, so it's no use really benchmarking multiple GPUs, but hopefully in the future multiple GPUs will be benchmarked and we can see sort of where we sit on the leaderboard. That's it for this video, guys. If you've liked the video, please like the video and maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. If you didn't, please specify in the comments what you would like me to change. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.